this video we're going to look at the solutions to CCEA's 2023 Summer M3 examination. So this is for higher tier maths. Okay, so first of all, first question says, Debbie works as a salesperson for an insurance company. Her rate of pay is £11.50 per hour. Every time she sells an insurance policy, she receives a bonus of £7.25. Last week, Debbie worked these hours, so Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m, same all the way through to Thursday, and then on Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. So it says her total pay for the week was £537.25. How many insurance policies did she say? Did she sell? Okay, first of all, I want to work out how many hours that she's worked. So she's worked 8 hours on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday, and then only 4 hours on a Friday. So her total hours, if we add those all up, she has a total of 36 hours. Okay, so her total for her pay, for her basic pay, I've said regular pay, but same thing, basic income would be 36, and it was £11.50 per hour. So she gets £414 for doing just that. Okay, we want to work out how much extra she gets from her insurance sales for every insurance policy. So that's going to be 537 minus 414, which works out to be £123.25. Now, each one of those things that she sells, she gets a commission of £7.25. So if you divide that number, £223.25 by £7.25, you will get 17. So that's your answer. She sold 17 of them. Okay, question 2 says a survey was issued online, by post, by text, and face-to-face. The number of responses received for each method are shown in the table. Frank thinks that you are most likely to get a response from surveys issued by text. So he thinks this one here is the best one. So we're going to look and see if he's correct. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the fraction of responses and then convert that to decimals. It's just easier to compare. So online, this first one, I'll call this 1. You got 120 out of 240, and it works out very nicely as a decimal, 0.5. For 2, you got, which was post here, for the post, you got 30 out of 100 responses, which again is a nice decimal, it's 0.3. For 3, which is for text, and this is one, remember, he thinks is going to be the best, you got 150, so pretty good, out of 300, so it's 0.5. So it's joint top at the minute. And then 4, which is face-to-face, is 120 out of 160, and if you do that, that's 0.75. So he's not correct, because remember, he'd said he predicted text was the best way. So I'll just say no, he's not correct, because the most likely is with face-to-face. Okay, as it was 0.75 as the next highest, and the next highest was 0.5. Okay, question 3, it says, write down expression for the perimeter of this triangle. Perimeter is a length around the outside, so all of these things. So our perimeter is just going to be 2a plus 3 plus another 2a plus 3 plus b minus 5, and then it's just a collecting terms. So you've got your a's, all your a terms, you've got your your b terms first of all, and then you've got your numerical values, so the ones which are just numerical. So a is 2a plus 2a is 4a, and then plus b, and then 3 plus 3 is 6, minus 5 will just give you plus 1. So your perimeter is 4a plus b plus 1. It tells you the perimeter of the triangle is 30, and you're told that b is equal to 9. So we're going to sub both those things in. So I'll write that again then. My perimeter, up here I'll call that P. So P we can say is equal to 4A plus B plus 1. I'll just put that there so we can see it. And now we're going to sub in that we know the perimeter is 30. So instead of writing P, write 30. And instead of writing B, write 9. And then that's a mess. Something's a mess, you tidy it up. So that's what you've got. It's then just a two-step linear equation. Bring the 10 across first of all. Goes across and it does the opposite. Subtracts. Again, that's a mess. Tidy up. We've got 20 then is equal to 4a. And then just to finish that up, 20 divided by the 4. The 4 goes across and divides. That means a is equal to 5. Okay, question 4. It says, a class of 30 pupils chose their favourite drink. And what you've got to do is find the number of pupils first. Sorry, part A says how many chose other. So you've got to find this one. But we've got to work out this. So 40% of 30 chose cola. So 0.4 times 30. 0.4 times 30 works out to be 12. This one is 3/10 of 30. And that works out to be 9. 3 chose water. I'll just write down 3. And then the rest. So to get the rest, or the others, it's going to be 30, which was your total, minus 12, minus 9, minus 3, which works out to be 6. Okay, so we can fill this table in. It was 12 for cola, 9 for milk, 3 for water, and 6 for the rest. And then what we have to do here is find the angle, because part B says use this information to draw a pie chart. So if you total these up, you got 30. To get from 30 to 360, you would multiply by 12. So 12 times 12 is 114, 12 times 9 is 108, 12 times 3 is 36, 12 times 6 is 72. To make out sure you're correct, just add those things, and if you add them up, I've already done that, and you can get 360, so you know you're on the right track. Okay, right. I'm not going to do this out. This is you drawing this out yourself here. Cola, start with this line here, but they've already got this wee line drawn on, and just work around clockwise. So cola was 144, so very roughly 144 is going to be about here. That's 144 degrees. This is very rough. I haven't used a protractor. I'm just drawing this on, save us a wee bit of time. Next one was milk, was 90. So 90 is just a wee bit more than, sorry, it's not 90 at all. It's 108, which is just a wee bit more than 90. So that was our milk. And then the next two angles, one of them was 36 and one of them was 72. So 72 and then 36. That doesn't look great, to be honest, but you know how to draw those. So you use your protractor. It's impossible for me to show this on this program I'm using. Okay, next one is a wee timetable question. Tricky enough wee questions these. It says, the table shows part of a train timetable from Edinburgh to St Andrews in Scotland. The express train travels directly. The standard train stops at other stations. Alex arrives at Edinburgh Airport. So he arrives at Edinburgh Airport at 13:06. So this is in 24-hour clock. It takes him 26 minutes to collect his luggage. And then by taxi, he arrives at Edinburgh Station 18 minutes later. So let me just see how long it takes him to actually get to Edinburgh Station. So we're adding basically, this is what we're adding. So do it in 2 bits as if you've got the hours and then you've got the minutes. 6 plus 6 is 12, and then plus the 8 is going to be 20. And then you've got to carry a 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus another 2 is 50. So 13:50 is when he's going to arrive. Okay, now let's see what the next one he can get then. So if he arrives at 13:50, clearly he's missed this one, he's missed this one. This is the one he has to get. So we have to see how long he has to wait to get this express. So he's going 14:24 minus 13:50. Okay, now a wee trick to doing these ones. Notice you're going to have trouble doing this. What you could do here, by the way, and you might think this is an easier way of doing it, you could just think, well, I got 10 minutes to get up to 1400 hours, and then another 24 minutes, which takes me up to 24 plus 10 is 34 minutes. Absolutely fine. Another way of doing it, but is by carrying an hour. So change that 1400 hours to 1300 hours, and you carry an hour. An hour, remember, is 60 minutes. That goes up to 84, and then you just subtract those. So now you can subtract them absolutely fine. So the hours disappear. 84 minus the 50 is just going to give you 34, so it's just 34 minutes. So there's a couple of ways of doing that one. Next one says the distance between Edinburgh and St Andrews is 54 miles. Calculate the average speed at which the express train goes. Okay, now they've been good to us here. These all work out as 45 minutes. Okay, that's 45 minutes as well. So just in case you were thinking, well, which one did I pick? Which is what I was thinking. All the times are the same. So we want to find the average speed. So 45 minutes is, put it into hours, it's 3/4 of an hour. Okay, and speed is equal to our distance divided by time, which is in this case 54. I'll just do it as a decimal, divided by 0.75, and if you do that out, you get 72. So 72 miles an hour. Okay, says diagram shows a net which is to be folded to make an open box. If you imagine this thing is folded up, my lovely artwork here, this is what you're going to have. So it's going to be 45 along this bit, it's going to be 18 high, and it's going to be, that's wrong, I've drawn it the wrong way, that should have been 24 along that bit, and then 45 along the longer bit, and then 18. So that's your volume. So the volume of that box then, volume is just going to be 18 times 24 times 45, and that works out to be 19,440 centimeters cubed. Okay, it says calculate the length of the longest straight line that can be drawn on the base of the box. Now, this bit here, this bit here becomes the base of the box. So if we just shade that in, that bit there is what the base of the box is going to be. And that's the longest diagonal, longest line you could draw, which is from the diagonal to another diagonal. So if I just draw that out again here, you had, that was 24 and that was 45, and this is what you're looking to get. So x squared is equal to 24 squared plus 45 squared. Use your calculator, that's just going to be square root of 24 squared plus 45 squared, and if you do that out, you're going to get your x is equal to 51. So 51 centimeters, and that's it. Okay, next one says, Greg bought a mobile phone for £180. A year later, he sold it for 54. What was his percentage loss? So the loss, first of all, is 180 minus 54. That's what he's lost, a massive £120. So percentage loss is your loss divided by the original, which is 180, and then times 100. And then if you do that, you will get 70%. Next question says, solve the equation. So you've got, multiply this out, first of all, you'll have 4y plus 8 is equal to 22, and then it's a two-step equation. Bring the 8 across, it will minus, something's a mess, you tidy it up, that's going to be 14, and then bring your 4 across, it was dividing, comes across, it was multiplying, comes across, and it divides. On your calculator if you need to, that's going to be 3.5. Okay, right. This question, I thought there was an awful lot to do here and it's quite tricky. It says, a local sports club runs a tuck shop during matches. Before last week's match, the club bought 25 packs, each containing 6 drinks costing £3. 15 packs, each containing 12 packets of crisps, costing £2.40, and 35 packs, each containing 5 chocolate bars, costing £1. Calculate the total cost to the club. Right, the cost is that each pack costs £3. These packs, 15 of them, cost £2.40, and all these 35 packs each cost £1. So your cost, you've got 25 times 3, you've got 15 times £2.40, and you've got 35 times 1. Now I'm just showing a wee bit of working out here. That's going to be 75 plus 36 plus 35. That works out to be £146. So that's what the club has had to pay out just to get all their products in, and then they're going to sell them on in the tuck shop. Okay, so it's cost £140. Okay, so I'm just going to write my cost to buy in was equal to £146. It was, sorry, £146. Okay, I'll need that later on. Okay, it then says the tuck shop prices. You've got the list of the tuck shop prices, and there's a special deal on. So in this special deal, you can get a drink, a bag of crisps, and a bar of chocolate for £1.50. So during the match, 115 people bought the special deal. So that means That means I've got something written down here. I'm not too sure what I've done. Total drinks 25 times. Okay, yeah, I need to find, sorry, apologies, I need to find what the total number of drinks are before I do anything else. So if you go back to this information up here, the total number of drinks, you had 25 packs, each containing 6 drinks. And then same idea when we're doing the bags of crisps, you had 15 packs, each containing 12. And then for the chocolate bars, you had 35 packs, each containing 5. Apologies, couldn't think where I was getting that from. So your total drinks in, you had 25 packets, each containing 6, which is 150. Your total crisps, you had 15, each containing 12, which is 180. And your total chocolate bars, we'll say chalk just, you had 35, each containing 5, which was 175. Okay, now 135 people bought the special. So that's going to reduce your number of things left then. So we'll just write that down. 115 bought the special deal. Leaving, so a wee word, couldn't do this without writing a wee bit of description here. It leaves in 150 minus 115 leaves you 35 drinks. Same idea. 180 minus 115 leaves you 65 packets of crisps. And then it also leaves you 175 minus 115 leaves you 60 chocolate bars. Okay, now what we have to calculate then, based on what we've got in our thing up here, we want to find how much you will take in. This isn't your profit because you'll have to subtract 144, but how much you'll take in. So we'll call this the takings. I bought 115 things, and they cost £1.50. I also, I didn't buy them. I sold 115 at it cost £1.50. I sold 35 drinks at 80 pence. I sold 65 bags of crisps at 50 pence. And in this lovely, I don't know what this colour is, pinky colour, 60 bars of chocolate at 30 pence. So we've got all that to work out. So I'm just going to call this my takings. I had my takings is going to be equal to then 115 times £1.50, apologies, £1.50. I also had 35 drinks at 80 pence, convert that into pounds, that's 0.80. I had 65 bags of crisps, and they were 50p, so 0.50. And lastly, I had the 60 chocolate bars, and they were at 30 pence each. Okay, fire all that into your calculator, you will get £251. So they're going to have made a profit. How you work out the profit then is your takings minus your cost to buy the stuff in. So they've made a healthy enough profit of £105 in that particular day. Tough question. Okay, and another tough question I thought, a lot to do here. You've got this situation here, you're told that your AC is parallel to this. These two lines are parallel, and you can see that by the wee lines drawn on them. It tells you the angle CBF then is 50 degrees. So CBF is 50 degrees. Angle BED is 100 degrees. What type of triangle is BEF? So what type of triangle is this? So it could be a right angle, could be a scalene triangle, could be an isosceles triangle, could be an equilateral. And the only way to find out what it is by finding the angles. And it says give a reason for each angle found. So first of all, I'm going to find this angle. So this angle in here is 50. And the reason it's 50 is it's alternate. So I'm going to say BFE equals 50 degrees. And just put in brackets. It's an alternate. Okay, the next thing, your angle EBA, this angle in here is 80 degrees. So that's 180 minus 80. It's not 100. Yes, it is. No, it's It is 80 degrees. It's 180 minus 100, but 180 minus 100, which is equal to 80 degrees. And the reason it is, it's co-interior. So it's co-interior with that 100 degrees. Okay. Then you can work this angle out to be 80. So that means FEB is equal to 80, because it's alternate then. And then you can also work out your FBE, or EBF, I should say. EBF then is equal to 180 minus 80 and minus 50 to get this missing angle in this triangle. And that is going to be equal to just 50 degrees then. Okay, so when you do that out, you get 50 degrees. So look at the wee triangle they were asking us about. They were asking about this triangle in here. And you've got two of the angles are the same. So there's your three angles, and two of the angles are the same. Therefore, it is an isosceles triangle. So we'll just say triangle BEF is isosceles, as it has two angles the same. Okay, next one, question 11. It says 40 customers order a chip in a takeaway, order chips in a takeaway. 6 customers take both salt and vinegar on their chips. 10 customers take vinegar only. So that's what you've got, and you know there's a grand total of 40 customers. 22 customers take salt on their chips. So that means this whole thing here is 22. So we can work out then. I'll just do a arrow. That's going to be 22 minus 6. So that wee bit in there is just going to be 16. It says use a Venn diagram to work out how many customers take neither salt nor vinegar. So we want to find this wee bit out here. So 40 was your total. We can then take out 16, take away the 6, take away the 10, and you will get 8. There's other ways of doing it, but that is the one I've gone for. Okay, question 12. Apologies for how wonky this looks. Wasn't like this properly. It says the ages of 21 workers in an office are recorded as, and it says draw a stem and leaf diagram to display this set of data. Right, I'm going to show you how I can do this very, very quickly. But it does require you drawing this thing out twice, but I think it makes it a lot easier. So what I'm going to do, first of all, notice I'll just draw a very rough stem and leaf diagram here. I notice a number in the 20s is the lowest, a number in the 60s is the highest. So that's my stem, and then I'm just going to fill it in. So I'm going to fill it in without ordering as I go. So the first number I come to is 28. Next one's 32. Next one's 38. Next one's 40. So that's a 4 and a 0. Next one's 42. Next one's 49. Next one's 51. Next one's 23. Next one's 26. Next one's 27. Next one's 53. Next one's 49. So 4 and 9. Next one's 45. Next one's 36. Next one's 38. I've missed there. 38 then, and 37. And then 62. 23. 46. 58. And 47. Okay, let me just check that. That looks good to me. Is that the same as I had done? Yep, looks all right. Okay, right. Now the problem is these bits aren't in any order, so you've got to order them. So just redraw. And let's just be careful when we're spacing this as well. So a wee bit more care this time when I'm redrawing this. Right, now what I mean by that with my spacing, it's as if there's dashed lines down here. So you want to have the things separated out and they're not overlapping, because the whole idea of a stem and leaf is that you can look at it and you can nearly sort of squint your eyes and look at it and you can tell what the general shape of the distribution is. Now, if you do it incorrectly, so say I did this out and I did 2, 8, 3, 6, 7. Well, there's a couple of problems with this. And the next one, I did 2, 8, 6, 8, 7. My next one, 0, 2, 9, 9, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 8, and then 2. All right, that's absolutely rubbish, because it's nearly the length of these lines that are made up by the numbers is what you should be looking at. So you're not really looking at the numbers, you're looking at this to get the general shape of the thing. But if they're not lined up and they're not spaced out evenly, then it makes absolutely no sense at all. So just take care when you're doing it. So the first one, we had 8, 3, 6, 7, 3. So put them in order. 3, 3, 6, 7, 8. And you can see I have them evenly spaced. The next one, it's going to be 2 is the first one. Then 6, 7, 8, 8. And notice they're lining up. You see the way they're all lining up. Let me get rid of those before I move on. But that's where you should be doing it. Next one, it's a 40 is the first one. Then 42. Then 45. 46. 47. 49. 49. And then 51. 53. 58. And 62. And you can see they're sort of well lined up. So that looks good. Now the last thing, so I'll mark on, that's my stem, that's my leaf, and the last thing you need a key. So the key is 4/5 means 45, and this was about age, so years old, we'll say. Put your key in a box, use a ruler, make it look pretty, and there we are. Okay, this is a regular stem and leaf diagram, a regular stem plot. Had it been what's called a back-to-back stem plot, where you maybe had things out this side and things out this side, you would need to put a key on both sides. That's very, very important. But this one, you only needed one key for it. Okay, there were 21 workers in this thing. It says a new worker joins the office. He is aged 34. What effect will this have? Pardon me. What effect will this have on the median? So first of all, the way I would do this, I'd find the original median. So I'll just do a wee bit, our current median. Okay, you have 21 people. So 21, was it 21 people? Yeah, 21 workers. Okay, you have 21 workers. And then add 1 is 22, and divide by 2 is going to give you the 11th value. Okay, so we're going to work out what the 11th value. So this is for the current median. So 11th value. So if you have a look here, how I'm doing these: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. So my 11th value is 40. Okay, I'll just get rid of that. Okay, so my 11th value, my current 11th value is 40. Now, if you imagine somebody comes in, yep, and there's now going to be 22. So the new median is going to be, there's 22 people plus 1 divided by 2. So that is going to be the 11.5 value. All right, that's going to be 11.5 value. Now, where will this new person come in? If they're 34, that's going to be a wee 4 squeezed in there. Now, obviously, you would have to space things out and so on. But let's just look at that now and see, we want to find, what do we want to find? Our 11.5 value. So 11.5 value, remember, is halfway between the 11th value and the 12th value. So the new person joins in. We now have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my 11th value is 38, and my 12th value is a 40. So what have I just said? 38 plus the 40, and divide by 2 to get my 11.5 value, and that works out to be 39. So putting in the 34, or really you would have known, it sort of lowers it slightly. It doesn't always lower it. I would think it's worth checking there, because sometimes there's maybe your 10th value is actually the same as the 11th value. So I think it's worth working that out. I know it seems like a lot of work for only one mark, but what it will do, it will lower it being the median to 39. Okay, next set of questions, and from here on in, I think these are all pretty much the same. This is where it overlaps with a lot of it overlaps with the M4 examination. So these would have been the sort of first few questions, or some of the harder questions on the M4 examination as well. So, or not some of the harder questions, some of the medium level questions on the M4 exam. Okay, Colin wants to put 4,500 into a savings account for 2 years. You can choose one of the following options. So let's just go through the two options. So option A, 3.5% compound interest for 2 years. So let's see what he would have with option A. He's got 4,500 times 1.035 squared. And when you do that out, you're going to get, when you're going to do that out, you're going to get £4,820.51. If I've had to go to 2DPs, that's what I've done because we're doing money. Option B, he invests his 4,500 and it goes for 5% first year and then 2%. So that's what you're doing. And that would give you £4,819.50. So option A is definitely the best. You've got to find out by how much. So it's just a subtraction. And that works out to be £1.01. So option A is the best by £1.01. Okay, question 14. Again, apologies for the mess of this graph. It says the graph shows the cost of hiring a mini digger for up to 7 days, including a delivery charge. So if you have a look at this, this is your graph. The first thing it asks you is about the delivery charge. This thing here is my delivery charge. So if I take it out, take this thing out of the hire place, and then take it straight back, it's still going to charge me, even if I don't use it for a whole day, they're still going to charge me £50. So if they deliver it to me, £50, and that is it. Okay. Next one says, find the gradient of the line. So we're going to use this point we've already got and another good point, which is this one way over here. And gradient, remember, is your rise over your run. So just make a wee right angle triangle. And this bit here, I'll do this in black but we can see it. This bit here would be, from here to here, is going to be 450. And this bit from here to here is going to be 6. Okay, so your gradient is your rise over your run, 450 over 6, which works out to be 75. So my gradient is 75. What does a gradient represent when hiring the digger? It is a cost per day. So you've got your delivery charge plus every day you have it, it's going to cost you £75. Next question says expand and simplify. So just multiply this thing out. You're going to have 6y squared minus 14y, then minus your 8y, and then tidy up 6y squared minus 22y. Okay, this one you've got a semicircle, and inside that semicircle you've got a circle, and the circle inside has a diameter of 12. So for that, we're going to find the circle first. Area of a circle is pi r squared, which is going to be pi times 6 squared, which works out to be 36 pi. The area of your semicircle, so this is a semicircle, a whole semicircle. If you imagine that is 12 there, then that is also going to be 12 here. So the radius of this semicircle is 12. So a semicircle is half a circle. So half times pi times 12 squared. If you do that out on your calculator, it's going to be 76 pi. So the unshaded area, let's just look back at that again. The unshaded area is going to be the whole semicircle minus the circle. So it's going to be 72 pi minus 36 pi, which works out to be 36 pi. And it said in the question, show that the shaded area and unshaded area are exactly the same. So we'll just say, just write that down so that you understand it. Therefore, shaded area equals unshaded area. Done. Okay, we're doing well. Next one says the times for which members at a gym spend on a treadmill are recorded in the table. It says you've got to estimate the time spent on the treadmill. So this is about your mean from a grouped frequency table. So you need to find your midpoint x and then your fx. Also, you need to find your sigma f, and we'll also need to find the sigma fx column. So the midpoint, to get the midpoint, add the 0 and the 15, divide by 2, you get 7.5. Add the 15 and 30, divide by 2, you get 22.5. Add the 30 and 45, divide by 2, you will get you'll get something different than I've written down. You will get 37.5. 37.5. And then the last one, add the 45 and the 60 and divide by 2, you'll get 52.5. Right, I need to change this. I've made a wee mistake in this. Okay, when we add those up then, 8 plus the 3 plus the 5, 8 plus the 3 plus the 5 plus the 4. This is me adding my frequencies, apologies. Adding my frequencies, this is what I'll get. Come on. 20. And then we'll just check these. So how we're getting these fx's, you're doing 8 times 7.5, and that's 60. I agree with that. Next one is 3 times 22.5, and that works out to be 67.5. The next one is 5 times 37.5. And this is one I think I've got wrong, and I have just as well. I've checked that, 187.5. And then last one is 4 times 52.5 is 210. So we add those all up. You get 525. So the estimated time, this is your mean. Mean is equal to sigma fx divided by sigma f. So it is 525 divided by 20. So just again do that on your old calculator again, and that's 26.25. 26.25. Okay, explain why your answer in A is only an estimate. Now look at what we've done. We have made an assumption, pretty big assumption, that everyone in this interval takes a value of 7.5. Everyone in this interval takes a value of 22.5, which is not really going to be correct, or as I should say, incredibly unlikely it's going to be correct. So that's why it's an estimate. And the estimate is as we are assuming everyone in an interval takes the midpoint value. Okay, but folks, that is as good as you can do for a group frequency table. That's all. That's it. Okay. Photocopy that one twice. Right. Next one says Barry sold his car for £10,225. The car had depreciated by 18.2%. So that means that £10,000, 10,225 wasn't 100%. It was 100% minus 18.2, so it was 81.8%. You can then find 1% by dividing by 81.8. Then blow that up to 100% to find the original by multiplying by 100. So divide by 81.8, you'll get 125. Very nice. Then multiply by 100, just fire 2 zeros on it, so whatever that is, 12,500. Okay, this one says solve this, and again, this came up in the M4. So to do this, just multiply the brackets. 1/3 times 2x is 2/3 x. 1/3 times minus 5 is minus 5 over 3. Leave it as that. It's calculator exam. 3/4 times 3 would be 9/4. 3/4 times 1 is 3/4. And then that's 5 over 6. Right, we then want to group together the x's. So to do that, on your calculator, just do 2/3 plus 9 over 4. And I'm going to just check this. What do we have? 2/3 plus 9 over 4, using my fraction buttons. And I have got that right. That was 35 over 12, lots of x. On the other side, I had 5 over 6, but I'm going to fire that minus 5 over 3 across, fire the plus 3 over 4 across, so they both change signs. And then we'll just tidy that up. It's a wee bit of a mess. Tidy it up. So on the right-hand side, we're just going to do, what was that, 5 over 6, and then plus 5 over 3, and then minus, and then 3 over 4. Fire that into your calculator, and I've got 7 over 4. Your x then is 7 over 4 divided by 35 over 12. So you might think that's very hard, but if you had a question like this, let's just break this down and see how we can make this a wee bit easier. If you ever get a question you think, I can't do this, these numbers are too complicated, make the numbers easy and think, what would I do in this situation? So if you had 2x upon 2 upon 2x minus 5, then plus like maybe 5 upon 3x plus 1 is equal to 10. What you would do is you would multiply it, you would get 4x minus 10 plus 15x plus 5 is equal to 10. You would then group all your x's together, so you'd add the 4x and the 15x to give you 19x, and then everything else would clear off the other side. Okay, again you would tidy up, and whatever that would give you, 15. And then your last thing, this 19 is multiplying, it would go across and divide. So that's all you're doing here. It's the same thing. So it's just uglier, but there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's very similar to what you would do if the numbers had been nice. Okay, so you'd multiply the bracket, collect all the x's, bring everything else over the other side, and divide across. So that's all you do. And you do that on your calculator. And again, I'm going to check that. What have I got? 7 over 4, and then divided by 35 over 12. And I've got 3/5. And that's what I agree with. I've written down here, so I'm going to hope that is right. Okay. Next one, question 20. How much more have we got to go? A few. Okay, question 20 says, write this thing as a product with prime factors. So just start by dividing by your smallest prime number, 2. Doesn't work. So you go on to your next prime number, which is 3. And it goes 1575. Divides again by 3 to give you 525. Divides again by 3 to give you 175. Now divides by 5 to give you 35. Divides by 5 to give you 7. Divides by 7 to give you 1. So 4725 is equal to 3 cubed times 5 squared times 7. And that would be, you'd need to put it in index form. It tells you that to get the marks. Okay, next question says factorize. So that factorized to be x plus 7 upon x minus 5. Okay, next question says hence or otherwise solve the equation. So bring that at 35 across, you'll have x squared plus 2x minus 35 equals 0. And then that left-hand side you can factorize from what you've done above to give you x plus 7, x minus 5. And then this is a lovely thing in mathematics. You've got a times b equals 0. That happens when a equals 0 or b equals 0. So here, your first thing it's multiplying is x plus 7. So x plus 7 equals 0, which means x equals minus 7. Or x minus 5 equals 0, which means x equals 5. Okay. This question says, find the equation of a line joining through the points 0, minus 2, and 6, 16. So the general equation of a line, first of all, is y equals mx plus c. M is your gradient. So it is your y difference over your x difference. So my y difference is going to be this thing minus this thing. So I'm going to do 16 minus 2. My x difference then, I have to start with the same one. So start with a 6 and minus the 0. So 6 minus 0. That's a mess. Something's a mess. You tidy it up. 16 minus 2 is 16 plus 2, which is 18. 6 minus 0 is 6. 18 minus 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So what you've got now is y is equal to, instead of m, you know your m is 3. So that's what you've got. Now what we want to do is sub in the point 0 minus 2, which means minus 2 is 3 times 0 plus c. 3 times 0, just be very careful. People mess this up all the time. Anything times 0 is 0, which means just your minus 2 is equal to c. And then rewrite your equation, y is equal to 3x minus 2. And that's it. Okay, where are we now? 2 more to go, is it? No, it's not. Keep saying that. 3 more to go. Okay, a boy is flying a kite as shown in the diagram. Calculate the height h of the kite. Right, we're going to look first of all at this wee right angle triangle and find this distance from here to here, and then we can add on something to get the height. So we're going to look at this right angle triangle first. So we had 7, that was 35. We'll call that x, and that's a right angle. So that relative to the 35 degrees, that's my opposite, that's my hypotenuse. and I'm going to use my SOHCAHTOA. And I've got the opposite and the hypotenuse. We're going to use sine. So sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Fill that in. Sine 35 is equal to x over 7. That 7 is dividing. It comes across and multiplies. So that's what you'll get your x as. And I've done that on my calculator to give me 4.01506 using more dp's than I need. My height then, okay, right. We've now worked out what this wee bit is. You also need to add on 85 centimetres. 85 centimetres in metres is 0.85. So this is in metres. So we're going to have 4.01504 plus 0.85. And that works out, my h works out to be 4.8650000, who cares? The 3 sig figs, 8.75 metres is going to be my answer. So, sorry, 4.87, don't know what I'm saying there, metres to 3 sig figs. Okay, right. Last double page in the exam here. It says a cylindrical can of beans has a radius of 3.4 centimetres and a height of 12 centimetres. The entire curved surface area is covered by a label, as typical for tins of beans or tins of food. The label has a 1 centimetre overlap to allow for it to stick together. So calculate the area for the label. Right, you imagine if you unfold this, and I'm not talking about the overlap here, but if you just unfold it, the length of that is the circumference. So what the circumference is, remember, it is 2 pi r. And then you've got this 1 centimetre overlap, so it's 2 pi r plus an additional 1 centimetre. The height of it, we're told, is 12, so that's 12 centimetres. So that means that's 12 centimetres here as well. So you can work out your area. So your area is 12 upon 2 pi r, and my r, what was my r? It was my r was 3.4 times 3.4 and then plus 1. Don't be a hero, do that on your calculator in one go. And when I did that out, I got 268.3539605. So that is 268 centimetres squared to 3 sig figs. Okay, last question, we've made it. It says, the following information is available relating to a data set of age. And it says, use all the above information to draw a box plot for the set of data. So for a box plot, you need the lowest value, you need the highest value, you need the lower quartile, median, and the upper quartile. So all the information must be here to allow us. So it tells you the median age is 14, brilliant, we've got that. The maximum age is 35 and the range is 32. So that means your minimum would be 35 minus the range, which is 32, which is 3. Okay, the other thing, it says the lower quartile is 12, the interquartile range. So the interquartile range, sorry, the lower quartile is 12, the interquartile range is 8. What the interquartile range is the difference between the lowest quartile and the upper quartile. So I could say the UQ, the upper quartile, is just 12 plus 8, which works out to be 20. So we've got everything we need, have we? Let's have a look. We've got our median, 8. We've got our lower quartile. We've got our upper quartile. We've got our lowest value. And we've got our upper value. So we've got those 5 things, and that's all you need. Right. Use the above information to draw a box plot, first of all. So, median is 14. So each one of these wee things is worth 2, by the way. Each of these wee dashes is worth 2. So median is 14. So 14 would be here. For your median and for all of your quartiles, you do a vertical line. Your lower quartile is 12, so another vertical line here. Using a ruler, don't do it like mine. And then your upper quartile is 20, so there's all the quartiles. And your lowest value is, where's my lowest value? Minimum is 3, so 3 would be here. So there's 2, so 3 would be halfway between the 2 and the 3. And what's my upper? Maximum is 35. So 30, 32, 34, 36. So 35 is going to be here. Okay, let me get rid of any wee dots that I don't need on this diagram. Oops, got rid of my 3. Shouldn't have done that. So you link up your box using a ruler, not like mine. Do as I say, not as I do. And there we go. And there we have it. That's your box plot. Okay, last question. Jane states that the majority of people in this class are aged 16 and below, or aged below 16. Is she correct? Yes, she is. Right, why is she correct? Right, 14 is here, our median. We know that. So the median shows where half the people are. So half of the people are below 14. So that means more than half the people are going to be below 16. So she's absolutely correct. Yes, so because half the people are below 14. So that means she's absolutely right. The majority will be below 16. And that is it. Okay, just check. This is the end of the question paper. Happy days. Make sure you don't miss anything. And that is us done.